Hey guys, so today I'm going to show you some quick and easy ways to integrate a team member or team members into your Trello workflow. So one of the things that I hope happens for you is that as you go through the profitable productivity course for food bloggers and lifestyle bloggers, I hope you get to the point that you are just growing, 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 and you have to add on team members. And I know that can be a little scary and seem a little bit overwhelming. So I'm going to show you just two. I'm going to show you how I added two team members to my business and how to integrate them into your Trello system. So one way is you'll have all these boards, right? And so one thing that you can do very quickly and easily is you can add your team members to all of your boards. So this is all of my boards for my cast iron recipes site, which we are really diving into this point in time. So I hired two team members to help me with those things. So all I did was I came over to members and I added in their names. And so the team members can view and join all visible team boards. So I added my Pinterest manager, Heather, and I added my copywriter and SEO guru, Kathleen. And if at any point you need to remove them, you can simply click these little remove buttons and it will remove them from all of the boards. And you can change their permissions so that they can edit things, change settings, and and then there's also the normal here, can view, create, edit team boards, but not change settings. So whatever it is that you need to do, I find keeping it on normal is pretty easy enough. And then if they need some sort of privilege, we talk about that, and I might change them to admin. It's not really a huge deal. And so they're the only ones that can still access all of these. Another way that you can do it, if you have these multiple boards and you don't need them on all of them, you can simply come to a board and you can invite them. So you can invite, if you only want your Pinterest manager or whoever to be on this board, just invite them to one board at a time. Or of course you can create a link and send it to them in an email, if that's part of your workflow, or in Facebook Messenger or whatever. So one way, or one thing that I suggest that you do right off the bat, is that you create this kind of welcome list. So you're going to have I have one up here called Team Conversation. So what it is I have welcomed these ladies, tagged them so that they know this is where the conversation is to happen. So it's going to happen right in this activity, right in these little comment boxes. We can tag each other. Kathleen and Heather are both going to be working together so that we can accomplish blog posts, creating certain blog posts as they apply to both SEO and Pinterest as it makes sense. So that is where our conversation is primarily going to take place, just in brainstorming out, what we're going to do for the year and how that's all going to line up. And then in each card as well, if we need to talk about certain ideas. Where's the one that I had earlier? I must have gotten rid of it, but say we're talking about apple crisp, and Heather, my Pinterest manager, says, okay, here's some great keywords for Pinterest and apple crisp. She's going to type them in the comment section of that card because it's only applicable to that card and to that recipe. And the same thing with Kathleen. Anything that she has, notes wise about SEO questions, or if I do some SEO research and I put those questions in there and I say, hey, I want to make sure that we address this specific question, she's going to take the ball and run with it there. So again, this is kind of the general plan. And then each of these recipe cards or each of your blog post idea cards are going to also be able to house a conversation. And so you can watch these cards as you tag people and as you comment in them, it's automatically going to watch it for you. So just something to kind of be aware of. And then the how to use this board. So anytime you're adding a team member, you want to make sure that you have a Zoom call with them and go over the board together. Record that call with them, upload that link in here and any other standard operating procedures, because you want to make sure that everyone is on the same page. So if you have multiple team members, it would be great if you did a Zoom call, like a conference call, and had everybody on the same page talking together, etc. So that's all going to go in this board. And then if you have any template cards, like I have template cards, if you're part of the Profitable Productivity for Food Bloggers, you know exactly what this is. That's something that I start implementing here. I brain dump all of my blog posts, and then as we start to flesh them out, I make copies of them using the template card that are actually going to be moved to the next workspace. So then we're going to converse, given all these things. Heather and Kathleen and myself, we're going to kind of, off and on, we're going to be moving these things. So this apple crisp was over in the brain dump section earlier. And so now we're thinking, since it's September, needs to be published in September, it gets moved to this ideas section because I want it to take off in October, November. And so those ladies are going to be working with me to really flesh out this section of the editorial calendar, if you want to call it that. I mean, yeah, really, that's what it is. And we'll add our own little labels, things like that. Another way that you could do this is you could actually create lists themselves for each person. So I could create a list here for Heather and make it part of the workflow that, Heather's the first one to pick out recipes, or that I'm picking out recipes and I put them in Heather's list. And then she's going to go onto Pinterest and she's going to find the appropriate keywords and image ideas, things like that we're going to flesh this out. And then once, let's say it's Dutch oven pumpkin pie and I move it over to Heather's list. And once her and I have fleshed that out, we say, yep, good to go. Okay. Then we move it over to Kathleen's list and she takes over on the Google SEO blog writing, the copy portion, and I get to work on the recipe, things like that. So there are multiple ways to do it. It just kind of depends on what it is that you like. For us, for this system, we're going to be trying this communicating within each individual recipe, each blog post, and then we're going to kind of work from there and see how things go. We might move to the workflow portion, and I'll definitely keep you guys updated if that's the route that seems to make the most sense. But there's certainly multiple ways, so feel free to try that one. And I hope this eases your anxiety a bit about adding some new team members on. All right, have a great day, guys.